My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told. It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me, until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch.
No i witam wszystkich w moim gameplayu z misji 10. Poznaliśmy smutną historię Silvasa Gravesa, który w tragiczny sposób stracił dwóch braci. W każdym razie zaraz pomożemy mu dokonać zemsty. Zapraszam do oglądania.
I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains. Led by Butch Cassidy, they were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop.
No
I
już.
assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
No będziemy sobie sekrecik. No wiedziałem, to się skończy. No, atakujący nam zostawili prezent.
I found the device they used to blow the tracks, so I knew I was headed in the right direction.
My ears are still ringing from blowing up that bridge.
What'd you say? I can't hear a goddamn thing!
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them. From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route.
Get out of here!
First, I would need to get my ass out of there.
No już ich przywitałem. Szarżą!
I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall.
O, ten też się...
I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados.
No, zamienię sobie już na ekspianą broń.
Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
time to die.
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day.
No to lepiej wyważać drzwi niż otwierać. Wychyl łeb.
As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
Damn him!
No teraz musimy iść tędy.
Times it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery. The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
Ja się prosiłem, żeby to tak załatwić. Serio. No i na sejfiku mamy okruszek. No i wbiliśmy poziom. Nawet jak mówiłem, będę się starał dojść do quickshotera. Tak więc 100 spodsów i tak dalej. Dodatkowe wrażenia w kombinacjach. No to nie rzecz. No, muszę wejść po drabince.
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a
You
hand.
mean like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the wild bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Who the hell is that?
No ale sami sobie też damy radę.
Take cover! Retreat! Retreat!
No, padli trupem. Jeden za drugim. A jest coś ciekawego. A już nic. Chyba to idziemy dalej.
He's killing everybody!
They'll kill us all!
You'll die for this! You hear me?
No ci szczelcy wkurzają. Dobra. No nie, zasłaniasz mi to strzału. Okej, dobra. Mamy nasz sekrecik.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they? Only a few stragglers were left, and I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail.
Wrogowie nas ostro atakują. To jeszcze chętny po kulkę. No już się uspokoili.
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nosed Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry, and maybe Elsie Lay. Though some folks might dispute that.
No, zaraz go przywitamy. No, w serduszko.
That very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America. They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
No i dziękuję za uwagę, mam nadzieję, że się podobało. Wkrótce ukaże już końcowe misje w Juarez Gunslinger. Siemanko.